Good morning, citizens, and welcome back to The Verse. This is not a typical update video on the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo because I can't follow all the news. I can't produce as much of the content going through all the different things that are coming out as everyone else. So I thought I'm going to do something a little bit different, which is going to make this really basic. But if you are looking to play Star Citizen, you've never played the game before, or you've only been taking part in the free flies, this is the kind of the video for you. Also, on top of that, I'm just going to mostly put background images of me doing a little bit of salvage. I'm doing some salvage as an upcoming event, but really relevant to the expo, and I'll get into that and why that is. So this is a really cool event coming up from the 17th to the 30th. It's a free fly event, meaning if you do not own the game, you can still play this for free during that time. You have access to over 100 ships that are ready to fly or drive in some cases. When they say ships, they also sometimes mean the ground vehicles. You only need an account. That's it. You just need to make yourself an account. Now, when you make your account, make sure you use a referral code when you make it. That way, if you do end up getting the game now or anytime in the future, any bonuses that come from referral code are applied to your account. Sometimes those are things like free ships. They just had a free fly or not a free fly referral bonus, but a Vara Halloween themed referral bonus where you got yourself a hover quad. The referral bonuses ships are always lifetime insurance, and they are upgradable, so that you could have taken that hover quad and applied a ship upgrade to it and turned it into any other ship that you wanted, and that ship would have lifetime insurance, which is amazing. So use a code. I do have the code on the screen here. I do have a link in the description below. Clicking that link automatically enters the code correctly, so you know you did it correctly. And I doubt there's going to be a referral bonus for the expo, but you never know. So that's the main rule. If you have someone else's code, use their code. It doesn't matter whose code you use, but I always say use a code when you make your account. There's going to be different paints available during this expo. How that works is there's 4 best in show ships. There's the Vulture, the Corsair, the Redeemer, and the 600i. I think it's just 600i in general. It was the 600i Explorer that became the top 4 in the final 4 of the ship showdown. And since it is modular, I'm assuming the Explorer paint would also apply to a tourist paint, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so if someone knows, please let me know in the comment. Basically, how that works is if you own one of those ships now, and you still own it by the end of the expo, you get that paint for that ship. If you don't own one of those ships now, but you purchase one and have it by the end of the expo, you get one of those paints. So if you're looking, say if you had something like a Redeemer and you were planning on upgrading it to something, and you bought a CCU to upgrade it, hold on to the ship, hold on to the CCU, keep them separate, and then after the event, when you get the paint, you can then upgrade your Redeemer and still retain that paint in that account. So as long as you don't melt the ship, you'd have it. So that's how that works. It's taking place in New Babbage again. Out of all the places it could take place in, I'm okay with that. I would have loved to see it in Lorville, but the Expo Center in New Babbage works out just well. You can get on the trains from there and get there. They've held it there many times, so any of the videos showing you how to get to the Expo Center will be valid. What I like about it over a place like, say, Orson or R-Corp is that there's ground. So you can actually take land vehicles out and drive them around, which unfortunately in Orson and Area 18, the whole planet of R-Corp is covered by cities. You can't drive on that, and as a cloud giant, can't drive on that either. So out of the two, out of the 2 remaining, Lorville and New Babbage, I would have loved to see it in Lorville because I do love Lorville, but New Babbage, pretty cool place to be because it's got that whole ice lake to drive around on and check things out on. People can be having ship shows out there. So if you don't know how the expo works, basically what it is a large sale for ships by CIG. So all the ships that you have available, some of them you can buy at any time, some of them are only limited sales to only a certain time, and some of them only limited to a specific small number of ships. So if you want to get those ships, you're going to have to be quick with your mouse button. It's like trying to buy some Taylor Swift tickets. It's going to be going fast. Do you get those ships? Personally, I say no, but I don't have the cash to be spending thousands of dollars on ships. Usually how it works is the money that the ships you can buy with credit go right away, and ones that take cash, at least they're going to be a little bit longer. So you've been looking at getting yourself like an Idris or an 890. Maybe this is the time to look into getting that. Some ships that you can't get all the time, things like the Caterpillar, those will be available for sale as well. They're more limited time than limited quantity for some of those ships. But how this starts out is there's staggered shows. So you imagine there's 2 different showroom floors. Day 1 has a certain manufacturer of ships. Day 2, that first one still exists, and there's a new second one. Day 3, the first one is replaced, and the second one still exists. So there's, with the exception of the first day, there's always going to be 2 going on. So looking at the 17th when it starts out, that's kind of all the alien ships. So Apoa, I think the Nox might be ready. Who knows? Banu, unfortunately, you're only really looking at the Banu Defender right now. Gatak, which has the only ship that was really announced was their big cargo ship, which will not be ready, and Asperia, which makes like the Talon, a few other ships. There's all the different alien ships, alien-looking manufacturers, even ships that are pretty rare and you don't always get to fly. Things like the Glaive, you'd probably get to rent those in this, which is going to be pretty cool. A little bit of a theory based on what I saw on the video. I saw some Gatak, like some Gatak style, or Raylan style, I guess. Or what's the alien? Oh, I guess I remember what's the name of the alien race to make those. Anyways, there was a style like image of a panel, and I'm assuming potentially there's either going to be a new ship announced or maybe even a straight to flyable ship, because there is a chance that there will be some ships coming into the verse that we've known about for a while. I'm really sure that the Spirit C1, the new Spirit from Crusader, is going to be available, and so anyone who owns that, they're going to be getting that flyable during the expo, because of the fact it's being tested quite thoroughly right now in the Pyro version, from what I understand. I haven't checked that out yet. I think there's going to be some straight to flyable, and definitely there's going to be some concept ships. Now, the concept ships, you're going to buy those, and you basically pay for something that one day in the future you'll get. Whether that future is relatively quick, the Spirit is a good example. Here's a ship we're putting out. Here it is. Enjoy it, everyone. And there's other ships like the Orion or the Merchantman or the Kraken who, hey, buy this ship, and maybe in a decade we'll let you know that we're thinking about working on it a little bit more. So that's going to happen. Alien ships, day 1. Day 2, you can still check out those alien ships, and all the time you can rent out these ships for 24 hours, absolutely free in-game. It doesn't even cost in-game money. You're just going up, clicking a kiosk, you got that ship for 24 hours, add it to your fleet. Day 2 will be Aegis, so all the Aegis dynamic ships, those are all going to be there. Day 3, Crusader, so you're getting your things like the Star Runner and all the new Spirit ships that are available. The Hercules, so the big cargo ships, all those. And Tumbril, which is a lot of like the ground vehicles, they're going to be doing that. On the day 4th, so on the 20th, we're looking Origin. Origin is producing beautiful ships. The 600, which I love, by far one of my favorite ships in the verse. The 890, the magic giant, the luxurious, massive, basically cruising yacht, space yacht. It is amazing. Check that out just to walk around and realize you're walking around not in a building, but in a ship that you can fly around. It is huge. It's amazing. Go check out the 890. Plus, even some of the little ships. I honestly think the 300 series is amazing. The 100s are terrific to fly around in for doing deliveries or just flying low to the ground and just checking things out. I love them. The next day, on the 21st, is Drake. Now, Drake produces ships like the Vulture that you see me using right now. And the Vulture is a salvage ship, and this is where you can really have some fun, and as a new player, take advantage of the expo and make yourself a lot of money. Because the way salvage works now is you can start finding cargo in the verse that is worth a lot of money, but in order to get the good cargo, you have to do a certain number of salvage missions. Having a free Vulture to go and do some of these salvage missions is awesome, because you're able to work your way up into the tiers, and then after the expo is over, you still have those tiers. You're still able to go and take the salvage missions and take the cargo. You no longer need access to the Vulture, but by then you could probably buy one in game. They're only 1.2 million, I think, 1.4 million. I can't remember exactly how much they are, but honestly, the 21st, get yourself a Vulture, make yourself a ton of money, and then buy other ships that you like in-game. Some of these ships are not available in-game, and you'll have to buy them with cash if you want them, or just wait Eventually, down the road, you'll be able to buy them in game. Next day after that, we're looking at a lot of smaller things. We have Kruger, which makes like the Snub Fighters, Grey Cat, which makes like the PTV and the STV. I think that's what it's called. Kanu, which makes the Nomad, which again is a beautiful little starter ship, one that I actually really enjoy. And Argo, which makes the Mole. So if you want to try some multi-crew mining, you can do that. You could also get the Raft, which is a cool ship, one that I don't own, but I do enjoy. Although, if you look way back in my videos, the first time I ever flown a Raft, I certainly did not fly it well. I didn't put the landing gear down when I landed a bunch of times, and led to some pretty entertaining, I say, in my opinion, videos. After that, next day is Anvil. Very military-themed ships, a lot of fighting ships on there. They're pretty cool. After that, we have the Misk and Mirai, which are all together, part of the same company, but just kind of different offshoots. The racing variants of things like the Fury are amazing. They are so fast. I 100% cannot race with those because they are so fast and so responsive that I overcorrect and slam into the ground all the time. I don't own one of those, so I'm going to have to be renting one of those to try it out again and get a little more practice, but they are cool ships. After that, the next day we have RSI, which is Robert Space Industries. They produce quite a few ships, but their main thing is their Connies, their Constellation class ships. So we have everything from the Phoenix Emerald. I don't think you'll have the Emerald rentable because that is a specific ship, but the Phoenix is just the non-green version of that. It's kind of a luxury touring ship. It's beautiful. We have the Taurus, we have the Aquila, and we have the regular Constellation. I don't think it has a different name, does it? Some of those have snub fighters, like the Kruger snub fighter. So when you're in the ship, you can actually go into the back and get into a fighter that's locked to it and come out the back and fly around. They have tons of missiles. They're great for fighting, but they're also great for cargo. So they have all that cargo space. So they're pretty cool ships. After that, we look at the best in show. So we're going to be looking at the Vulture, Corsair, Redeemer, and 600i. Again, checking out those ships. And that, I believe... they'll probably see the paints beforehand, but that's when for sure you'll see the paints. Other equipment and suits and things like that will be available to check out there as well. And then we have 3 more days, the finale, from the 27th to 30th, where you can rent all the ships. You can go, any of the ships were rentable beforehand, you can rent those out again. Now, not only on the show floor can you check out the ships, walk around, take tours inside, and rent them, but there's also going to be holograms showing you different ships. So we might see the Kraken, we might see... the Banu Merchantman, although I really doubt that. We might see some new concept ships that haven't been shown yet. And not only that, there is a good chance we're going to see other ships. For instance, the Drake Cutter and Scout perhaps will be a third Cutter version that will be shown there, straight to flyable. There'll be other ships that are shown there that we won't know that are coming, and they'll be there. So that's going to be pretty cool, awesome. Definitely we're going to see some holograms of the Zeus Mark II, but there's not going to be any flyable versions of that, unfortunately. So this is a good chance to really try out the new ships. Expect the release of the C1. That's going to happen. Probably at least one, if not multiple, straight to flyable ships. Definitely some concept ships, although they have so many concept ships that don't feel you need to buy one just because it came out. Really only buy ships that you want. Although, I'll get into CCUs in a moment. Expect some new starter packs. We already had those the other day showing us the Expo starter packs. During VAR, they showed what ones were going to be there. So those are going to be coming out again. You're going to be able to check those again. But really, show restraint. If you see a ship that has 2 prices, one says War Bond and one doesn't, if you have a lot of credits in your account and you could buy one of those things with credits, absolutely buy one of those credits. But War Bond, you need to spend all new cash for that. They tend to have better insurance a lot of the times, and they tend to give you a better price because they're cheaper. But if you're going to spend $400 on a ship, US, make sure that you can spend $400 US on a ship. Definitely, I think this game is an awesome value for any of the starter packs. Recently, the Cutter Scout, the Cutter. The Day of the VAR had the Cutter for $45. You got the Cutter plus the game, and I think it had 6 months insurance. Not a great amount of insurance, but the game itself was an amazing deal. Plus, at the time, there was a referral bonus that gave you the lifetime insurance hover quad, which you could upgrade to another ship. That was awesome. What a great deal. 100% I'd say that's worth it. When you start getting over 100, really decide if that's the game for you, and this is the time to decide. Make yourself an account, make sure you use referral code, and then try it out for 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, you have plenty of time to really try the different game loops. If you really think, oh, I think I might want this ship, I think this is the starter ship for me, maybe I'd be really happy starting out with a Cutlass, or maybe all I need to start out, excuse me, is a 100i. That's it. That's awesome. If you can use credit, though, if you have somehow, $400 in credit in your account, then I say get whatever you want with that credit, because it's credit. It's either sitting there not being used, sitting there being used, maybe use it. Also, great time to plan CCUs. Now, I'm not going to explain too much about CCUs here. I do have a video that explains CCUs in much more detail than I'm willing to do here, because I don't want to keep this much more than 20 minutes total, and we're already at about 15. So, CCUs, though, used to be you could buy CCUs all the time, Warbond CCUs. The way the expo went last year and the way I see it going this year is there's going to be limited time. You're not going to know when Warbond CCUs are going to be available or not. But being able to buy a Warbond CCU allows you to spend $5 and save yourself maybe 30 or 40 on a ship. It's awesome. So how that works is if you can get a Warbond CCU, say you wanted to upgrade your free hover quad to a more expensive ship like, well, let's say a Hercules. In between there was a Warbond to go from something like a 300i to a 400i. If you got that Warbond, you could upgrade your hover quad to the 300, then use that Warbond that saved you money, and then continue on. And by getting a number of Warbonds, or a number of CCUs in general, and just chaining them together, you can make yourself a ship that you want with better insurance, more add-ons, and at the same time, you'll be able to save yourself money. Another good thing about using CCU chains is, let's say your CCU chain includes a Corsair or a Vulture on the way to the ship you want. Why not buy all the CCUs you need and stop at that ship until after the event is over? Once the event is over, you'll get the paint for that ship, and then you can continue on upgrading using the rest of your CCUs. So that'd be something kind of cool to do. So kind of look into that. I think it'll be cool. Let's see. I'm going to quickly check online to see if I missed anything else. Oh my god! Do I tell you? No, I don't tell you. Do I tell? No, I don't. Okay. I just read something. Oh my god. You know what? I think I'm going to say this for another video. Something amazing. So, if you want to find out what the amazing thing is, cliffhanger. I'm going to end it on a cliffhanger because oh my god. Alright, I don't know what to say. I'm going to end it here. It's going to be exciting. Look out for my next video where I talk about this exciting thing. Probably not today. I'm going to end this, finish doing some salvage. And then, yeah, big announcement coming up. Get ready, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. And thank you so much for your support. Get out there, and I hope to see you soon in the verse. Goodbye.